The abandoned warehouse at the edge of the forest had long been forgotten by both animals and humans, thus rested on every surface like a second skin, and silence ruled the space during the day. But at night, when the moonlight slipped through broken windows, the world inside the warehouse awakened. Luma the fox moved quietly, her paws barely touching the ground. Curiosity had always guided her steps, and tonight it led her to something strange. Cardboard box sitting alone in the center of the floor. No markings, no tape, no lid. Yet it trembled slightly, as if breathing. Was someone out there? A voice whispered from inside the box. Luma froze. She had heard birds speak, trees creak like old storytellers, even the wind's secrets. But Box, this was new. I am, she answered cautiously. What are you? The Box sighed. My name is Kiko. I am Box that thinks. And I am afraid. As the night deepened, other sounds joined the conversation. Wooden chair stretched its legs with groan. Cracked lamp flickered awake. Rusted clock began to tick louder than it should have. It has begun, said the clock. Time is bending again. Luma looked around, her tail swishing nervously. Again, replied the lamp, its light unsteady. When boxes start topping, the balance is already broken. By morning, the fox had gathered the forest, wisest animals. Noro the owl listened in silence, his golden eyes unblinking. Sina the tortoise nodded slowly as each detail was shared. Objects speak only when they are forced to remember, Noro finally said. And memories are dangerous when trapped. Kiko was brought before them, carried gently on woven sled. The box trembled as Sina placed claw on its side. Inside you, the tortoise said, there is more than emptiness. If there is world, Kiko admitted, my ideas become real there. Dreams, fears, mistakes. I was sealed for a reason, far beyond the forest, buried beneath layers of metal and stone. Another bee. The days that followed blurred into one another as the forest changed. Animals spoke more often, and objects that had never made a sound before it began to whisper. Stones murmured beneath footsteps. Doors sighed when opened. Even shadows seemed eager to express themselves. Luma stayed close to Kiko. The box no longer trembled constantly, but its voice carried exhaustion. Every thought placed inside me leaves a mark. Kiko said one night. I can feel them piling up, but they traveled beyond the warehouse, pulled by a sense none of them could name. The owl guided them through the dark. The tortoise kept their pace steady, and behind them, the chair of the lamp, and the clock followed on creaking legs and flickering light. The world beyond the forest was wrong. Bills folded inward like crushed paper. Rivers flowed upward before spilling into nothing. Here boxes littered the land. Wooden, metal, glass. Some open, others sealed tight. This is where unused ideas go, the clock said, where abandoned thoughts rot. From one shattered box crawled creature made of paper and ink. It spoke in unfinished sentences and collapsed as soon as it reached the air. Luma understood then. The great box was not merely opening, it was leaking. They reached city built entirely from stacked crates. Animals and objects lived together uneasily, negotiating space and silence. Here words were currency. Those who spoke too much lost their shape. Those who stayed silent slowly faded. Kiko was taken during the night. Luma woke to emptiness where the box had been. The air felt hollow, as if sound itself had been stolen. The pursuit led them underground, through tunnels lined with labels and stamps, all naming things that never existed. At the center lay the box, vast and breathing, its surface etched with countless voices trying to escape. It wants to remember everything, Noro said softly, then in doing so erased the present. Luma approached alone. She placed her paw on it. This text is part of a full-length novel designed to reach approximately 100 printed pages. The story will continue seamlessly in the same tone and style until completion. The absence of Kiko left a hollow trail behind them, as if the ground itself noticed what was missing. Luma moved faster now, no longer guided by curiosity but by urgency. Every sound felt delayed, every echo slightly long. As they traveled deeper into the distorted lands, objects grew bolder. A torn map argued with a compass about direction. A cracked mirror refused to reflect anyone who looked tired. Words floated loose in the air, attaching themselves to passing creatures like birds. Noro flew ahead and returned often with grim news. The great box was pulling everything toward it. Stories, memories, unfinished lives. The closer came, the more the world simplified, losing detail, color, and choice. They found Kiko in chamber carved from compressed silence. The box was bound in chains made of labels. Fragile to set up, handle with care. Each label burned faintly. They want me to store the past, Kiko said weakly. All of it, forever. Lucina began peeling the labels away, one by one. With each removed word, the chamber shook. The great box loomed behind them now, vast beyond scale. Its surface reflected nothing, absorbed everything. If it closes, the lamp said, dimming, nothing new will ever begin. Luma stepped forward, remembering every silence she had ever chosen, every word she had held back. She understood then that restraint was as powerful as expression. She softly, not to command, but to offer. You don't have to carry everything, she said. Let some things fade. The great box paused. For the first time, it did not pull. Cracks formed, not from force, but from release. Memories leaked out gently, settling into the ground like seeds. The land breathed. When the chains fell away, Kiko felt lighter than ever before. The journey back was slower. The world